Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here, and welcome to another anticipated and overdue edition of the So You Want to Be an Imagineer Historical Retrospective. This time covering the second part of Season 7. Finally. I'd like to just quickly apologize for taking a week in between videos. Last weekend I was hanging out with some friends and doing some stuff and was just generally busy, and then I came down with a cold. So just all kinds of crap that's held me up. But now let's get to it. So just one little tidbit I'd like to add on about Musketeer Cole's project before he got eliminated. It was based on Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's The Lost World, and time travel was a major element of it. That's basically all I can remember, but I wish I had more details on it, but there you go. So moving on to the second half of the season, the teams were split up into two teams. Team Elias and Team Technicolor, which were swapped up from the original fans and favorites teams. Team Technicolor was really kind of becoming a powerhouse at this point. And once again, I do not remember the creative projects this season all that much. I more remember the gameplay. But Team Elias actually wound up winning the project after Cole got eliminated. And it's funny because even though Team Technicolor was filled with big powerhouse players like Cole and King Mickey and Mater, Team Elias was really the one team that actually kept winning the projects. So at this point on Team Technicolor, we had the three-person trio, alliance, whatever you make of it, that consisted of Mater, King Mickey, and Trevor A. And then we had who would go on to become probably the most famous wild card in the whole history of the game, in all honesty, in the form of Hack 2112. Hack, like I said, joined the season as kind of a cheat to get an equal number of fans and favorites. Hack, like I said, was a judge on another previous Armchair Imagineering competition on another board, and so we brought him in to the favorites tribe to kind of even out the numbers a little bit. So yeah, at this point, I would say that Trevor A really would have been the logical person to eliminate, because it was, I know what the project was. I think it was, it had something to do with designing a hotel, I'm pretty sure. So there you go, designing a hotel. That's all I know about it. But really, the funny thing is that, like the situation with Musketeer Cole, the project before, I remember Hack actually did a considerable amount of work on this project. He didn't, take it over in the way that Cole did on the last project. But I'm pretty sure, if anything else, I'm pretty sure he contributed some descriptions, maybe some concept art. And Trevor, he was really just sort of in the background and kind of invisible. So, yeah, here's where we get into the debate, the Treacherous Trio debate. I'm going to need a little bit of setup with this. At this point, I had a blog, and every project I would release a project commentary on the blog, which was just me writing about my thoughts on the individual players and what was happening and the gameplay and all that good stuff. And when Cole got eliminated, I coined, or actually, I'm pretty sure this was when Hack got eliminated that I coined this phrase. I deemed the three-person team that was left on Team Technicolor to be the Treacherous Trio. Now, keep in mind, these were all favorites. King Mickey and Mater were obviously a tight sort of power couple, if you will. Trevor, I believe Trevor, he's really an example of someone who's much more of a social player than he is a really excellent creative player, but I'll get to him a little more later. But, yeah, like I said, it's just at the end of the day, the votes are what counts in this season. The votes of the players are what counted. If it would have been me deciding, I would have eliminated Trevor A, and I would have kept Hack on. But, alas, Hack gets eliminated, and so the myth and the rumor and the undying mystery that is the Treacherous Trio was born, and quite frankly, I still think it exists to this day. I don't want to get too much into this subject, but especially when we get around to Jesse Studio's elimination, these three people, King, you can you can talk about definitions all you want, but you guys, you were an alliance. Like, I am going to wave my finger at you in shame because you were an alliance. Don't try and deny it. Ha ha ha. King, seriously, you know I'm just messing with you. You didn't say the magic word. The next person eliminated in 7th place from Team Elias was Disney Sea Fan. I wish I had more to say about this guy, but he really is just sort of the definition of someone who is just kind of there. I mean, really, in all honesty, he'd make like about 1 or 2 posts per project, so he really just kind of skated by for the most part. I don't want to be mean, I don't want to bash the guy, but he just really didn't contribute a whole hell of a lot to the season as a whole. So we're going to move on from there. And I just want to warn you guys that at this point, I don't really remember any of the creative projects up until the final 2 projects, the semifinals and the final project. So just bear with me. It's getting better, and I promise you that come Season 8, I'll be talking a lot more about the creative game. So after Disney Sea Fan was eliminated, we merged the teams into one big team of 6. Oh boy, oddly enough, I don't remember what the merge team was. You know what? Let me just take a second and maybe see if I can think of it. Just give me one teeny little second here. Team WED, if I'm not mistaken. W-E-D, Walter Elias Disney. That is what the merge team was called. I am pretty sure. If I'm wrong and someone knows that, please feel more than free to call me out on it. So at this point, we had 4 people from the Favorites tribe and 2 people left from the Fans tribe. Those 2 people were Monkey4057 and Adventure Blue Dude, and then the 4 people from the Favorites tribe were the Treacherous Trio of King Mickey, Mater, and Trevor A, and then Jesse Studio on the outs. So the merge project, again, I don't remember what it was, so I'm very, very sorry about that. Monkey ends up getting eliminated. Now, Monkey, he's a player where in later seasons he'd really take on a style of adapting comedy projects. Comedy is his big thing. Comedy and personal style, but I'll get way more into him a little later in Season 8 and whatnot. Monkey was a really good player. He was a very solid team leader for the Fans tribe. And unfortunately, I think in Fans vs. Favorites, it just came down to just the level of competition. Now, in 5th place, this is where I'm going to have to really debate the existence of the Treacherous Trio, which to this day King Mickey denies ever existed. Jesse Studio gets eliminated. Jesse was a very solid player. At this point, we were still working in, I believe the last 2 merge projects before we got into the semifinals and the final project were team-based. So it was, people working together. Again, Trevor A, I love you, man. I really love you. Like, you are one of my best internet friends. But when it comes to the game in Season 7, I mean, you were kind of just coasting along a little bit. I mean, you contribute solid ideas here and there. But at the end of the day, I just feel like Jesse was much more of a powerhouse. So with that being said, the 3-2 elimination of Jesse Studio over Trevor A. Yeah, 3 people over 2 people. 3 people coming together to have a solid voting block. King Mickey, how is that not an alliance, my friend? How is that not an alliance? I will like fight you to the day you die on this. Like, you and me have come to terms with a lot of things, but I'm sorry, I don't mean to make that big of a deal out of it, but seriously, you 3 were an alliance. How do you explain Trevor getting by so far? Again, no disrespect to Trevor, he's an awesome person, but there were plenty more people playing the game stronger and harder than he was that season. So I hope I don't come across as really mean with anything I say, but yeah, there was definitely a little treachery afoot. So coming into the semifinals project, it was 1 fan and 3 favorites. 1 lone wolf versus the Powerhouse Alliance. Adventure Blue Dude. He obviously nowadays is one of the most iconic people to play the game. He's just a force whenever he plays. He's honestly, I don't believe he's ever played without getting to at least the semifinals. I believe he has, like, some sort of a crazy record for that, because even Basket Buddy didn't play and get to the semifinals 4 times in a row. Basket Buddy got eliminated before the semifinals in Season 1. So I believe Adventure Blue Dude holds the record for most times at the semifinals. Correct me if I'm wrong about that. But in Season 7, he was really kind of on his own. He hadn't really developed his social strategies yet. That would come more in Season 8. In Season 8 and 9, when it really required strategy. In Season 7, he really reminded me a little bit of King Mickey in Season 4, whereas he didn't really post all that much. He was really kind of a quiet player, but every time he would contribute ideas and present individual projects, they'd be really strong. So he got himself to the end of the game and became the last fan standing on that merit alone. His semifinal project, the semifinal projects were to design blue sky projects. I think I covered that in the first video, where it's just totally freeform, whatever you want to do. The only 2 blue sky projects I remember Mater did something for SeaWorld, some sort of coaster or something? I don't know. My memory's really shoddy with this season. The semifinals project I remember the most, though, was actually Adventure Blue Dude's, because he did a Jurassic Park Jeep tour. Again, I'm just kind of a sucker for Jurassic Park. Like, the movie Jurassic Park just taught me everything I know about being a creative individual and how I want to tell stories, so I just love me some Jurassic Park. So if I were to decide who got in, it probably would have been Adventure Blue Dude getting in the final 2. But alas, I believe the criteria was that the judges picked out one person and the jury picked out one person. And so the judges went with King Mickey, who, gosh, King, I know that your semifinals project was really stellar. I just don't remember what it was, of course. But, and then the jury went with Mater's project, the SeaWorld project. So, alas, Trevor was out in 4th, Adventure Blue Dude was out in 3rd, starting his long-running tradition of getting eliminated right before the semifinals. Trevor A, really quick, oh yeah, I do know what project he did. He did something, he did an e-ticket for a local theme park, I think. It was something like a Cedar Point or something like that. And what I really like about it was that he designed his project to be sort of like in the style of an ad campaign. And so it was really kind of like reading a story. It was really unique. It wasn't very strong in terms of conveying creative ideas and something that could realistically happen. But I think it was kind of a trend starter when it came to thinking outside of the box with how to present your project. So Trevor, I definitely give you props for that. That was probably your shining moment in Season 7 for sure. So after all that, it really does seem like this is the way that God intended it. The final 2, Mater A1123 versus King Mickey. King Mickey has been a rising force in the game. Mater, of course, has been a very memorable hero-type character. He got eliminated unjustly in Season 5, was a big presence for that, had a big comeback story in Season 6, yada yada yada. These two were intertwined together. They were just destined to end up in the final 2 together. When it comes to strategy, King, I do believe you. I believe you when you say that you are the only one really thinking strategically. I believe you when you say that you were, not really communicating with the other members of the so shall we call it, the Treacherous Trio. It's just, regardless, you guys were a voting block. That's what it comes down to. You were a voting block. But alas, I'm just hammering this point into the ground. So, the final project was to come up with a Disney mountain. Mater designed a movie mountain for Disney MGM Studios. And King Mickey designed this project, which was, I don't remember what it was called exactly, but it was this crazy boat ride, and the theme of it were creatures that were kind of, oh gosh, what was it? They were creatures that were just kind of lost in time. And I really liked the way that King described these creatures in this project. Like, it really stuck with me. They were like, odd and bizarre looking to us, but not scary and not like intimidating at all. They were just sort of wondrous and unlike anything you'd ever seen. And I believe part of it was that he'd like have certain features from animals. It'd be like you'd see like, I don't know, let's say a zebra with a giraffe's neck or something like that. Like combinations of elements of different animals like blended into each other. It was crazy. And it was all about, it had this major theme of looking past physical appearances. And I really love this project. I love this project a lot. It's one of the projects that's really, it has a message that it really just hammers home and delivers, and yeah, I love it. So, at the end of the day, King Mickey, he ends up becoming the undisputed champion of Season 7. Mater would never, unfortunately, compete again, but I feel like him finally getting into the final project was reward enough for his storyline. Unfortunately, Mater's kind of been forgotten about over time. I believe that he's still a cast member at Walt Disney World, which is cool. So, yeah, that was Season 7, Fans vs. Favorites in a nutshell for you. Before I go, though, I want to announce two quick little things. Well, really just one quick little thing. I am going to be starting up a contest for a very special secret power to be used in Season 11, to be assigned to you in Season 11, if you win it at the start of Season 11. The contest is to write me up, send me a PM with your personal favorite moment in So You Want to Be an Imagineer history. This could be a project, this could be a strategic move, it could be anything you want it to be. Just write it up, send it to me in a private message, and I will pick out the moment that I like most, and you will get a personal secret power to use at the beginning of Season 11, where no mind has gone before. In the meantime, I'd really appreciate any feedback you can give me. Feedback really helps with these things. And yeah, Season 8 is going to be a 3-part video. And I think what I'm going to do is, instead of releasing them all individually, I'm just going to take a long afternoon, record them all up, and then post them all together, so you guys won't have to wait for them. Part 1 of Season 8 is going to be called The Rise and Fall of Clash of the All-Stars, which is a story that you all have been looking forward to, and I can't wait to get to that. So look forward to Season 8, all 3 parts sometime next weekend. And again, I'm sorry for the long delay in between episodes. So yeah, Tiki out. You didn't say the magic word.